What is Stocks and Shares ISA? It's a government-approved investment account that lets you put money into things like stocks, funds, and bonds. And the best bit, everything you earn inside the ISA is 100% sheltered from any UK taxes. No capital gains tax, no dividend tax, 100% tax-free. That's the power of Stocks and Shares ISA. But only if you know how to use it. It's one of the most powerful tools beginners can use to grow their wealth. Here are some of the must-know rules about the ISAs. First of all, let's look at the allowance that you get. You can put in up to £20,000 per tax year into an ISA. This includes a variety of ISAs, but today we are focusing on only Stocks and Shares ISA. Let's look at the eligibility. You must be a UK resident and at least 18 years of age. So what are the investments allowed in there? It entirely depends on the platform that you choose to invest with. Let's look at what kind of investments you can put your money in. You can put your money into shares, ETFs, funds, and bonds. Basically a whole wide variety of selection that you have. But the selection predominantly depends on the platform that you choose. Some platforms only allow ETF-based investments while others allow stock-based investments. So do your research before you pick a platform. Now let's look at the time frame. Time is very important in investing. You need to set your investments aside at least 5 years before you touch them or withdraw the money. Ideally, 5 years should smooth out any ups and downs of the market. This makes sure your money has actually grown and you're not withdrawing it while it's low. And the best bit, no tax to pay. Who doesn't like a bit of tax saving? There is no tax to pay on the growth, there is no tax to pay on the dividends, and you do not need to declare this to HMRC. Now, let's be real. A Stocks and Shares ISA isn't a magic tree. There are obviously pros and cons to everything. So let's discuss the pros and cons here. Let's look at the pros first. The first reason to invest in your ISA is obviously because of the tax savings you're getting. So the tax savings is definitely the first pro. There is potential for having higher growth than just putting it in a savings account. There is flexibility in terms of you can choose if you like to invest in a DIY investment or a ready-made fund. So now let's look at the cons. The first con is an obvious one. Your money can obviously go up as well as down. Fees matter when it comes to ISA investment. So make sure you pick a right platform with the lowest or no fee possible. Because any money you might be saving with tax efficiency can be wiped out easily with platform fees. It's not ideal for a short-term investment. For example, if you want to put the money in for 1 to 2 years, it might not be ideal. Mainly due to the fact that markets can go up and down frequently in the short term. But markets always recover and go higher in the long term. Which is why I recommend at least putting your money away for 5 years. Mainly due to the fact that your money will be in a growth phase and also compounding works in your favor. The longer you have your money invested in the market, the better it is. Here is how it looks in practice. Let's say you have invested £100 every single month into S&P 500 using Stocks and Shares ISA. Over the next 20 years with an average return of 7% per year, that investment could grow to north of £50,000. All sheltered from any taxes. If the same investment was outside an ISA, any of that growth you're looking at paying tax on them. Inside the ISA, all of that investment is yours to keep and no tax to pay. So how do you get started? As I have mentioned on numerous of my videos before, always start with an emergency fund. Don't invest any money that you're going to need in the near future. Once you have your emergency fund set aside and you have additional funds to invest, we can then go ahead and choose a platform to invest in. That's the first thing we need to do. You need to compare the platforms that are available out there. There are so many options in the UK. There's Trading 212, Free Trade, Vanguard, Hargreaves Lansdown, and many more. The main thing you need to look at when you're looking at platforms is their fees. I highly recommend the first three, which I have personally used throughout my life, mainly due to the fact that they are lower on fees than some of the high street alternatives. If you're a beginner and you're not confident on picking individual stocks yet and you want to invest in a broad market ETF or funds, a good platform to choose is Vanguard because they only do funds and they have a limited number of funds that you can choose from. Once you have selected the platform, you need to select the investment you want to make. Look at individual companies that you want to invest in or look at the ETFs or funds available in the market. Pick individual shares if you're confident. Otherwise, if you're a beginner, go with simple diversified funds. Set up a regular contribution to these accounts. You can even set up as little as £50 or £100 to begin with. Treat it like a bill that you pay. Even a small amount but a regular investment matters. You need to get into a habit of having investment as part of your regular strategy. Even £50 or £100 pounds a month adds up massively over time. Now let's be patient. Investment works over time. I know you will be tempted to check your account every single day for growth, but all you will be seeing in the short term is ups and downs. Be patient, invest it, forget about it, come back months later or years later, and your money will be growing. Investing into stocks and shares ISA is very simple. Open an account, pick what investments you want to make, and then put money in regularly. Once you have this habit set up, you can invest and forget about it. There are several advantages to going with some of the modern platforms like Trading 212 or Free Trade. One of the key ones is you can buy fractional shares. So let's say a company's share costs £2,000, but you don't want to invest £2,000 into one single company. You can purchase a fraction of that company by investing just £100 into it and getting a portion of that single share. You will still get all the same benefits of holding a share. So here's the bottom line. If you are not using a tax-free investment account like the stocks and shares ISA, you are leaving one of the biggest tax-free investment opportunities in the UK. Start small, start simple, but most importantly, start. So which investment platform are you going with? Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. And if you found this video helpful, hit like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. I share simple, beginner-friendly money tips every single week to help you save smarter, invest better, and build long-term wealth. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.